On the 10th of October 2012, a new show about a DC Comics character not named Batman, Superman or Wonder Woman aired. That show was Arrow, and originally it was made to be its own thing and didn't even have the intention to expand into a full-blown universe. Originally, it was going to be pure grounded with no superpowers at all, but that all later changed by the time season 2 came around. The show will go on for 8 seasons, with half of those seasons being well received and the other half not so much. On the 28th of January 2019, the show that started what would go on to be known as the Arrowverse aired its series finale, 1 whole week after Oliver Queen died to save the multiverse in the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event. And it wasn't until season 2 where we started getting a glimpse of a wider universe when we saw the debut of Grant Gustin's Barry Allen. Of course, went on to star in his own show, The Flash, in 2015. The first 3 seasons of The Flash were when it was at its peak, both quality standard and popularity wise, but since then it has drastically declined and the show is now a shell of its former self. But that hasn't stopped the show from having 8 seasons so far, with season 9 officially confirmed and is potentially going to be its last season. Following the success of The Flash, the Arrowverse expanded further when CBS announced that they were going to be making a show about Supergirl, and even though it wasn't officially part of the Arrowverse at first, Flash crossed over in season 1 episode 18, making it officially part of the Arrowverse multiverse. And by season 2, Supergirl would then move over to the CW, home of the other Arrowverse shows, and this allowed her to be more involved with that world. Supergirl will go on to have 6 seasons, and the series finale aired on 9th of November 2021. After Supergirl had aired, a band of misfits and outcasts came together to save all of time itself in the form of Legends of Tomorrow, which first aired on the 21st of January 2016. The show has been hit and miss over the years, and in its later seasons it's more of a comedy rather than a superhero show, with the amount of superhero activity decreasing less and less each season, and the characters barely ever wearing their superhero suits anymore compared to the earlier seasons, i.e. in seasons 1 and 2. Legends ended its latest season, that being season 7, on the 2nd of March 2022, and it ended with a cliffhanger, making us to believe that the show would return for a season 8. But on the 29th of April 2022, it was officially announced that the show would not be getting renewed and was in fact cancelled. On the 16th of January 2018, a new addition to the Arrowverse came in the form of Black Lightning, the universe's first black superhero show. Even though it aired on the CW, Black Lightning wasn't originally part of the Arrowverse. This later changed during the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event that saw Black Lightning interact with the other Arrowverse characters, and by the end of the crossover, his world was integrated into Earth 1 and he became part of the Arrowverse's version of the Justice League. The show would last for 4 seasons, airing its season finale on the 24th of May 2021. After Black Lightning, we then got the very controversial Batwoman, which aired its pilot episode on the 6th of October 2019, and when the first trailer launched, it received a lot of backlash and criticism for its overall presentation, and when the show aired, the feedback was overwhelmingly negative. The lead actress for the show, Ruby Rose, even left the show and didn't return for season 2 after falling out with the production, which led to a black woman donning the Batwoman mantle instead of them just recasting Ruby in the role. The fans were of course divided by this decision. Some wanted a recast, whereas others welcomed the new direction that the show was going in. Despite all this drama and negativity, the show survived past season 1 and had 3 seasons before being cancelled on the very same day as Legends of Tomorrow. Superman and Lois is the latest Arrowverse show and has been highly praised by both fans and critics alike, with the successful season 1. So far hasn't made much connections to the wider Arrowverse besides an appearance from John Diggle, and what's even more surprising is that Supergirl, who is of course Superman's cousin, hasn't even appeared in a single episode, nor has been mentioned at all, which is baffling. The show has been renewed for a season 3. Even though these next shows haven't interacted with the wider Arrowverse as of yet, Stargirl, Titans, and Doom Patrol are all part of the Arrowverse multiverse, as they all made cameo appearances in the Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover event, and in fact, Stargirl will actually be crossing over with the wider Arrowverse in a crossover comic event later on this year that's canon to the live action shows. All three of these shows have been renewed for new seasons. The Arrowverse was going to get even bigger, with shows such as Green Arrow and the Canaries and a Wonder Girl series both being in the works, but the CW decided to pass on those projects in favour of Naomi, Gotham Knights, and a John Diggle-led Justice U show. Naomi, even though she's a DC Comics character, isn't part of the Arrowverse as of yet, and it's in its own world, but as seen before with Black Lightning and Supergirl, that can easily change in the future. Unclear as of yet whether or not Naomi will be returning for a season 2. And as for Gotham Knights, that series isn't going to be based in the Gotham that has been established in the Arrowverse, so it will most likely be its own thing. But with the CW reportedly going on sale, it's uncertain as to whether or not we ever see this show at all. And the same thing goes with John Diggle's Justice U show. That's currently in development, but due to the recent merger with Warner Media and Discovery, we've recently learned that Discovery aren't going to be greenlighting new scripted content, so whether this Justice U show sees the light of day remains to be seen. Out of the main 7 Arrowverse shows, only the Flash and Superman and Lois are left standing. With all these shows ending and cancellations, the Arrowverse is literally falling apart before our very eyes. The speculation is that The Flash will end after season 9, but where does that leave Superman and Lois? Only time will tell. The Arrowverse has had a good run, but it seems like its time has now come to an end, and it's on its last leg. Thank you for the memories.